Hey guys, welcome back to American Adventure. Today's episode is going to be a little bit of a relaxing one in terms of building, but it is the season of Christmas, so I decided to do some Christmas decorations for the park, even though it's not complete, but I felt like it was appropriate, and I thought it would be a fun way to take an existing building and see where would decorations kind of hang on. And so the first building is going to be the entrance building, and that's going to be the main attraction for all the decorations. The decorations for most of the park is going to be in the main entrance area. I don't want to go through the entire park and decorate that because I think it would be too much of my time. And I'm have to blueprint all of this later anyway, because by the end of the season, this has to go be put away in storage or something. So the first things you saw was I put on the lights with the new bulbs that we got from the Booms and Blooms. It's not part of the DLC. It's part of the DLC, but it's more of a free update that free players get. Then I got to build this wonderful looking wreath made out of letters with the fantasy texts. So also a reminder that none of this is modded. The only thing that I'm using is Construction Anarchy, but everything else is still vanilla. And this stuff you could probably imitate in your own builds if you want to. And I might put some stuff on the workshop, like the wreaths and stuff. But yeah, there's the wreaths right there in the front, and then the lights then got put in. Those will be recolored later. I did some wreath or garland testing, if you want to call it, with the vines from the Taste of Adventure pack, and then the letter R in the fantasy lettering kind of mushed together looks like a bow. So I found that to be the most accurate or the most effective way to doing a bow instead of doing it out of shapes, because honestly I think shapes are kind of, I overuse shapes, so I'm going to try to use some different pieces, but I think the text engine really helps with doing bows, and it looks like a bow from a distance. And I did some candy pieces from the candy pack, and then some the Devo flags and the normal green and red coloring for Christmas, and I think that actually helps out with all the decorations. And then in the Boston area, which I've now I'm going to rename it Boston Harbor because I keep calling it Boston Harbor, so I might as well just name it Boston Harbor instead of Crossroads. So in Boston Harbor, I'm going to do garland across the main street like they do at Disneyland. So I kind of did some cables out of the hanger pieces, and then I'm going to do some vines across it, all hand placed, nothing on grid, because I think this was a better way to kind of guess where they're going to go. And I kept the big dangling part from this type of vine in the center, so they all match each other, and so that's where I think I put bows in those sections because they hang out so far. But I think these look like actual garland. The vines actually work really well when they're like dark color like this. And then there's the wonderful bow out of the R again. This looks really good, and as it kind of puts itself together, I kind of went like crazy with the this looks like an actual Christmas. And then the little bulbs from that they kind of these bulbs can put themselves on surfaces if you don't lift them. So this is actually really neat. So I was able to just put them on all of them, and then I changed the color to red and green to imitate that. And then as I was building that, I was like, I need something on the bridge as well. So candy cane was kind of the go-to, and some more peppermint pieces on the garland, and it just feels like Christmas. The only other things we're missing from like a Christmas pack would be maybe like toy soldiers and stuff like that, but I built a couple of those out of shapes later. As the garland kind of puts itself together, then there's the red and green lighting for Christmas lights. These actually look really well at night, so I was going to trigger them and make them twinkle, but that would have taken me maybe like 3 hours to do so I might not do it at all. Maybe later? I don't know. And then I did some Christmas lights also on the bridge too, also in the red and green color scheme as well, because that's the colors of Christmas. I think this actually brings some holiday cheer to a park like this. It's really nice. Again, I'm not sure where this park actually sits in this, like the country. Like maybe it is not snow country, because I don't think it's necessary to put snow on these buildings. So I feel like this park probably would be maybe, no, I don't know about California. California doesn't have the space for it, maybe it does. I don't know, maybe like this sits in Arizona. No, not Arizona. This has a lot of good trees. Again, I don't know what part of the country this could sit. Maybe Oregon, Washington. They have more foresty areas. That's kind of the idea. Regardless, I'm just rambling about where this park should actually sit. But as you can see, I'm just doing the coloring of all the lights. This lights for this building took roughly, I think, an hour and a half to do all by hand. I can't blueprint most of it because the bulbs kind of act funny when they get blueprinted. They kind of flip over, and I don't know why it does that, but I think it might be a bug of some sort because these were placed on surfaces, and so when you blueprint it, it wants to go back to its default orientation, which is on its side. So things kind of flipped around. So I'm hoping when I actually blueprint this that they don't mess up. But I might make oh, you know, I can make the... No, I need to blueprint all of it because it needs to come off later. I'll probably do that. These will come off later. I'll also maybe make a... This is a separate save anyway, so I could just keep it as is, and then put it over to the complete map after I'm done with American Adventure, which is probably not even close to being done. I have so much work to do. Over here, I felt like that we needed a Christmas tree for our park. The original idea was to put this Christmas tree out in the water near the harbor, but I felt that was kind of tacky and weird. So I felt like putting it in the center of like greeting you in the beginning, right when you cross the bridge, because your like in between zone is the entrance area with the locker rental and the guest relations. That's kind of your not Boston yet, but it's almost Boston. But it's also kind of your split between Liberty Street and Boston Harbor. So when you cross the bridge, you're in Boston Harbor. So I think that was kind of appropriate to have that tree being your greeting symbol. So the tree is just made of triangles. Pyramids, actually, not triangles, pyramids. The newest pyramid we got from the last update was the 45 degree, and that actually looks like a tree now. I don't like to use real trees because they sway, because I know I need to put lights on them and ornaments, so it's good to maybe make a fake tree, and this is kind of the way to do it. And then I did orbs all over it by hand, up the tree, and then the star was made out of a text star that you can actually input into the text. So a user on the Reddit actually figured out a whole bunch of symbols you can use in the text to kind of get your shapes. I've probably touched on this probably a long time ago in my Victory Fields video about stars, because I put stars on the building in a car. It's the same star that I use, I just made it yellow, and then I had two to kind of lock with each other. It looks like a pretty neat looking star. And then did some coloring for the lights, green, red pattern. I think that's the best way to go. And then we put some ornaments. So all the stuff that I used in decorating is mostly from the Taste of Adventure DLC, because the Candyland pack that we got is pretty close to being Christmas. I honestly believe that it is basically Christmas. And then we add also the vines also from the Venture pack. So again, the vines kind of are my replacement for garland. And then we have some strawberry pieces colored in yellow to make it look like orbs, and I maybe discolor them here and there for a different pattern. So blue and red ornaments and things like that. Let's see, what else did I do? There was plans of doing some other Christmas stuff, but I kind of also lost steam. Some other projects have popped up for me, so I'm also working on some things. And then multiplayer is such a big thing right now that I want to collab with somebody or multiplayer or something of that nature, and I think that would be cool. I have some big projects coming up, and then the Parkitect University Live will have to happen somewhat soon. I need to figure out some logistics and a map I have to build. Maybe I'll make a video on just me building the map, showing you what I've done, and then maybe I'll announce a schedule of maybe do one class about something. I'm not sure what the class could be about. If you guys have any ideas any ideas for a class or a subject matter, because I wanted the class maybe to go an hour, but I haven't really figured out the logistics yet. So back to the front of the entrance to kind of finish things off. I felt like that I was missing a Nutcracker, 2 to be exact. So I made a Nutcracker completely out of shapes. Again, this took about, I think the Nutcracker took about 30 minutes to make, maybe even shorter, I don't remember, but it was a fun little experiment to do. And that little skeleton buddy there is my measurement for how big the guests are, and this Nutcracker is actually quite large, but again, it's a prop, so this would be pulled out of storage and then brought out to the front. I made one and then I copied it twice to be on two different ends here, and then it kind of built itself out. But the shapes, I used every single one of them, I think. Some other things like that, and some pretty cool interactions with the Nutcracker. Nutcracker was pretty fun to make because, again, it was pretty cool. Ooh, I just saw a Steam pop up. Stardew Valley got a new update. Ooh, okay, well that's something I have to play too. Oh no. I got distracted. Okay, back to what I was working on. It's the Nutcracker, not Stardew. Oh yeah, Nutcracker, I used vines as his beard. That was really a cool technique. I didn't think that would work, but if you paint it right, it actually looks like hair, so that was a neat little thing. His shoulder pads are peppermints pieces painted one color because they're shiny. And then I was going to make a staff, and that later turned into a rifle because I felt like it's America themed, so why not have a rifle? I think that would be cool. So it's a soldier that kind of sits here guarding the entrance. The head was a weird thing. The head was really difficult to kind of put itself together. It was going to be a sphere and then a cone for his nose, and then the nose kind of looked weird, so I decided to change that up. It will change into a skull, actually, and the skull piece is actually a surprisingly a good piece to use for heads if you want to make people. And you can add shapes and things into its eyes and things like that, and I think that works really well. As I sit here staring at it, I was probably mulling over something. So yeah, Chill's trying to figure out eyes. Again, eyes are like the soul of your creature, and if you don't do the eyes right, the thing just falls apart. So you have to kind of do that properly. So I was also trying to make like teeth with a cylinder or a disc. That didn't work out. That looked ugly, kind of looked weird. But the beard was out of vines. I think the vines actually helped really well. And then a hat kind of to make it a little longer. But again, the skull should be appearing soon, like I said earlier. I don't remember when I put it in, but I know it was weird because I was like, it doesn't look like a human being. It just doesn't look right, so I'm going to change it up. And then some more peppermint pieces that kind of add more like collar detail. Again, this is all the smallest pieces you can go, and that's why this prop is actually quite large, but it also has, I would say, a lot of pieces in it. Oh yeah, I want to try to do some feathering out of text, but that didn't work out either. That kind of looked weird. So, oh yeah, and then the red cheeks, that actually started, when I did the red cheeks, that's when I started really thinking this would look like a Nutcracker. Because I was looking at some pictures of Nutcrackers on Google, and I saw that they have like red cheeks and stuff like that. Here's the wonderful skeleton. Skull head, quite large, kind of looks weird at first because it's like, oh, it's a skull. It's weird. And then I'm like, okay, let's actually put in nose, eyes. The skull actually worked out really well because of how oval it is. And then the eyes actually are the orb pieces lights from the not the DLC, well, from the Booms and Bloom, but it's the free update. Those were painted black, but they still glow actually. So when it's at night, the Nutcracker's face actually lights up a little bit. Not as bright, but it lights up. It's actually weird how the effects does it. Like there's a little bloom effect, which is weird, but I think it adds a really cool effect. So yeah, trying the feathers again, it's not gonna work. I'm gonna do some like gold straps on it, and then here's a little bit of the rifle thing. So the butt of the gun, and then the trigger post, and I think it looks like a gun, a rifle kind of. And then I'm gonna add the little golden things on top. But I'm gonna trans over to a live view, and I'll see you there. Okay, here we are in American Adventure. So I'll just show you some of the stuff that will be, well, I'll just show you a tour of all the things up close and my thoughts on how this decoration thing actually worked out. I think this is actually was fun. I found it super fun. Let's go into, oh my god, there's a light that's not painted! Why do I do this to myself every single time? This needs to be painted. Oh, I have to redo this entire thing. Oh. No, it needs to be green. Okay, no, we fixed it. Never mind. I'm just dumb. Okay, fixed it. Cool. Okay, back to what I was doing. Let's go at nighttime so we can see the lights, the wonderful little lights. And then here's our little nutcrackers. So I think these are pretty cool. I've just blueprinted it and then coming over here. And then let's see here. We did some more decoration over here for the locker rental to kind of help balance out the street. Same thing with the guest relations and the first. I don't think this is first. I think this is just a ATM. And then down the street we go. Oh, look at this. See this? This is a bug that happens. We have so many pathways on a map, but they come back after you regen them, so it's weird. Oh, same thing over here did as well. How funny. It's okay. I'm just noticing that it happens, but hey. Then as we go onto the Candy Cane Bridge for our Boston area, and then here's our wonderful Christmas tree. Here, let's look at night. There it is. I think it looks pretty cool. And then also with the lights off as well, we can also go. Oh, see, I missed another one right there. I missed another light. Dink. And then we'll make it green. And then this one back to red, and this last one green. There, I fixed it. Cool. There, some live maintenance for you guys. That is hilarious. And then some, yeah, the garland goes across. It looks nice. It doesn't look nice on this side, but that's why I don't really care, because when you open the map, you come from one direction, so it's going to stay on one side. I could have done it on the other side too, but I think that's just using so many pieces, so I'm going to skip it. But I think it looks fine from here. I mean, it even looks nice in daytime too, especially. That's kind of what I'm focusing on. Like, the Christmas lights need to look good, or the Christmas decorations need to look good in daytime as well. So this is all the decorations that I did for this area. Nothing else was added to the map recently, but I probably going to work on next is probably work on this. I need to make some harbor building or warehouse for the steamboat, and then later we'll probably start. I can start some work on the river rapids. I need to figure out how to transition. I need to build like some type of logging. Oh, so it needs to be a logging building. So I need to go Google some logging buildings and factories, and I'm going to theme that to Paul Bunyan. I think that would be very, very appropriate from that, and then go from there. So that's the next project probably, and then later, like months later, is all New York and stuff like that, and then the Bountiful Farms needs the dark ride, and then this needs to also be worked on too. Oh, maybe the next episode will be about this. I should work on Soarin' Over America again, because I want to redo some things and add some new flat rides and make this actually a cutaway right here. I should actually do that. That's the next episode. It probably is the American Adventure. Not American. It is American Adventure, but Soarin' Over America cutaway. But yeah, let's go back through here, just checking on things. Yeah, I could have done decorations on Independence Hall, but I felt like that would be a little bit more tedious. I could maybe do garland right here just for fun, but I'm gonna keep it blank because I feel like the entrance area and the main entrance right here should be all decorated in Christmas, and it looks really neat. I like how this everything put themselves together, and then there's the wreath. I need to put more wreaths, maybe big ones, elsewhere, but I had a fun time doing this. I think it was a cool way to go, and I might do some more decorations like this in future holidays, like see what the next ones would be. Valentine's would be interesting. It would be hearts, wouldn't it? Or St. Patrick's Day. Or Halloween's a big one, but yeah. So I will leave you guys here, and I will see you guys in the next episode.